Hello, thank you so much for joining us at the Center for Entrepreneurship at Krea today.
My pleasure, Rohan.
Yes, we've prepared a list of questions, so let's get right to it. So the first question I'd like to ask you is, what exactly do you think the Center for Entrepreneurship at Krea should do for its founders, its students?
So I think I would always say that entrepreneurship is all about a mindset first.
Okay.
And I think it obviously is something that you see as a streak, and then obviously you build on it, and then it's some kind of a more of a passion sometimes, but it also definitely has to be balanced by a lot more of intelligence and awareness. So I think this whole thing of just managing all of these qualities in a person, and therefore sometimes I also find people who probably have this streak but they don't know how to go about it, and I think this is what the center would try to achieve, and exactly what I think the effort should be on.
Great. That's great. So you have very diverse experience. You worked across artisan clusters, tier 2 cities. So if you can tell me, what's that one mistake that brands make when they try to connect with their customers?
So a lot of times I think I would say two things actually. I would say sometimes it's about the sensitivity.
Okay.
So there is a lack of sensitivity in when you build a team, you have to also take into account, and especially a startup team, that every single person in that team has the sensitivity to the business, because each business has a very different kind of a requirement, and you need to know your back end like really at the back of your hand.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people don't do that. They sort of become front end centric, and they think that the back end is something which is somebody else's job. And I think this whole understanding the back end and the front end as to how it all comes together, that should be the responsibility of every person in the team. The other one I would also sort of say is that sometimes you start talking to the consumer more in terms of how you want to take the brand forward, but you have to always, while that's important, it's important to have your own voice. It's also important to keep evolving or keep responding to the voices from the market. And I think sometimes you become a little more, I would say, indulgent and say that, okay, I would continue to do. So you should know when the course correction is required.
Okay, that's great. And if you had this one piece of advice that you give to any early stage founder, anyone who's building something, what would that be?
I think it requires a lot of perseverance.
Okay.
And I would again say that remain focused, so that you sort of don't deviate a lot, and sort of give it your 100% before you actually start to think of what it is.
That's great. All right. Thank you so much. This is very helpful.